I'm Shimelle Laine, and welcome to the 30th Sketch to Scrapbook page for 2013. Today's sketch includes one portrait 4x6 photo and two landscape photos printed a smaller size, which I've printed at 2x3. I've also printed the smaller images in black and white. It's not a requirement, it just worked well for these particular photos. And then today I'm going to be working mostly with this one arrow printed pattern paper by October Afternoon. And I've pulled out two different colors of solid cardstock, a gray and a cream, and we'll see how this comes together. Now, all of the sketches that I've been working on recently include mist as part of the design, and this one does as well, but it's not on the background, it's on a block that gets cut into place. So I'm going to use that on the gray cardstock, which is then going to go on top of the arrow print. So I'm going to go ahead and mist it first and then cut it down, because that way if the design goes a little bit different than how I'm expecting it, if I get a different bit of an ink blot in a place that I didn't expect it, I can always cut it away in a different pattern. So I'm just getting my paintbrush to do the droplets, and I'm using a silver Mr. Huey, and so it'll have a little bit of shine, but also I wanted a color that would still be gray, but would show up on gray. So a little bit of a challenge there. So now there are, most of the Mr. Huey colors are not sparkly, but this one is. So the silver is a metallic, and it should give me a bit of a shimmer. Now I've gotten lots of small droplets there. I want a couple big ones as well. And a lot of this is going to get covered up, so I'm not worrying too much about it being perfectly balanced. And then come back in with a few little droplets here. And I'll let it dry and then cut it into this strip to go in the middle of the 12x12 background. My large block of paper is going to go in the background here, and I'm looking at this corner and this corner to see which way is best. I've got a nice big sparkly droplet in that corner if I go that way, and it will probably be covered up if I place it in that direction. So I think I'll go this direction and adhere that to the background, and then there's a smaller strip that's going to go in the opposite direction. So this one is just cream colored cardstock, and that's going to go across the middle there. And I tend to move it around until I get it so that one of the droplets is tucked away underneath there. And then I can add my photos right on top of that. So I'll start with the larger image, just placing that one, and then for adhering them I'll actually start with the smaller images. They're going to be stacked in a nice neat little line here, and then that gap that's naturally made here is where my title lettering will go. So that's why I haven't adhered this one just yet, because I want to place the letters in first just to make sure that I get the photo in the best spot to have the letters lined up. And for that I'm going to be using these cream colored thickers. I've got all my lettering in place, including the title, the date, and the journaling. So now I'm just looking at embellishment, and on the sketch there are 3 little areas allocated for some embellishment. I'm going to start with the 2 at this top photo, and I have 2 of the little die cuts from the October Afternoon pack that match this pattern paper particularly well. So I'm going to go with those 2 up here, but I don't have a third to work for this space down here. Not there's just not another small die cut in that pack that's a particularly good match. I thought I could pick up the arrow theme that's in the pattern paper with my stamps, which also have some arrows in them. So let's see if maybe I can use the arrows to fill in some spaces. So I'm thinking I could use a couple different arrows to fill in this gap and have it point toward the photo, and then maybe just repeat one arrow underneath here on this little corner, using the end of the arrow to go around the corner of the photo, and maybe that will be enough that I won't need further embellishment. So I'm going to stick with the narrower arrows and some black ink and make these point toward the photo so that they will direct your eye in the right direction looking at the page. Just repeat with a couple more arrow shapes. And then I can offset them like this so that I can fit 3 in that space and have a nice little grouping then. Then I think I'll go back to the first one that I tried and add that one at the bottom corner. And just tuck the corner of the photo into the corner of the arrow. And the other thing I could add here would be a little word sticker from the same sheet here. And I could pop that just below the photo and see if that works. Just looking for which wording would be best, and I think this is the only one I can have make sense. So I'll go ahead and add that with pop dots as well, just like these two pieces, and then that embellishment will end up in a very similar place, although not exactly the same as the original sketch. And that is where I'm going to call this one finished. So again, really simple, quick design, but I don't think there's anything else I want to add to this particular page. I think this design could also work really well if you have nice big flourish stamps that work well on corners, because I could have done a lot more embellishment to this piece with the mist by stamping 2 or all 4 of the corners here, or I could change up this look by using pattern papers instead of solid cardstock for those 2 elements. So I hope that you will interpret it in your own way. If you stop by Shimelle.com and follow the little link underneath the video if you're watching on YouTube, you can see this page, but also a second interpretation by a guest artist, and you can download this particular sketch so that you can use it and print it and anything else that's useful. Thanks so much for watching, and happy scrapping. Hope to see you soon.